We now welcome in the one, the only, Jay Will to the show, who will be returning to College Game Day. We're very excited to see you every single Saturday, sir, and happy to have you here. So great to see you.
Good to be back. Excited to be here in this room with you guys, even though you're right there and I'm right here, but it's fine. We're going to do the show together as one collective unit.
We are all in the same room, so it's a great time. Okay, so Jay, a lot has happened in college basketball this week. Some of the top teams in the country have taken L's this week. I want to ask you, who do you think is the best team in college basketball right now?
So, all right, I'll answer that question in two ways. The best resume in college basketball, when you start thinking about like quad 1 and quad 2 wins, is Purdue because of their body of work, right? The thing that worries me about Purdue is that if Purdue is playing against a top 25 team, I believe in them. If Purdue is playing against an unranked team, I'm not sure. Now, both those games have been on the road, obviously losing to Northwestern and Nebraska, but they're going to have to compete against unranked teams that first weekend of the tournament. So that makes me concerned. I will say if Klingon is available, UCONN is the best team in the country to me. I like their size. I love their depth. I love their guard play. And Klingon is that individual down low. He's so active on ball screens. I think top to bottom, they will be the best team.
And that leads us to our next question, which is a perfect segue, Jay. You were on the call for a UConn game at MSG against Indiana earlier this year. So I know you got an up-close and personal look. When you get Klingon back, and obviously Stephon Castle has kind of worked his way back into the rotation as well, what is it about this UConn team that is so dangerous and could potentially lead them to another repeat championship?
So I don't know if you know this, but I'm from Jersey, right? So being from Jersey, I spent a lot of time in Jersey City competing against St. Anthony's. So I've gone against Danny and Bobby Hurley in their older years, and Danny was one of the type of dudes on the side with his brother Bobby that Danny would talk trash to you. Danny always had like the little white spots on his lips because he was spitting so much when he was yelling at you. You know, like the awkwardness of it, right? But there was a little bit of that inner city toughness with him that when you look at him, you're saying, okay, on paper, I know who you are, but when you play against him, it felt different. It felt like you were playing against a kid from Jersey City or Newark, New Jersey. And that's what the team epitomizes, right? There are people that aren't afraid to get into your pocket defensively. They're yelling, they're screaming, they're in your face, they're applying pressure, and that's a relentless pursuit. Now, they're going to have questions making shots here and there, but at the end of the day, I know what type of energy is going to be brought. If Klingon can be healthy, that's going to be the biggest challenge for them. Because with Sampson, with Tristan Newton, with the way they're able to apply pressure, talk on ball screens, I think top to bottom, they are the best defensive team in the nation.
Now, Jay, we just saw 3 legendary coaches step down this week, and I wanted to know what type of challenges do their replacements sort of have here as we go forward?
I just got done calling Duke versus Syracuse, and you have 2 guys that were replacing, obviously, legends in Jim Boeheim and Coach K. I don't know what it's like to fulfill legends like Bill Belichick and Nick Saban and company, even Pete Carroll. But first thing these guys have said is, number one, you have to make it your own. You have to pay homage to what came before you, but you also have to know that this is a new chapter, right? So what are your tweaks? How are you making it more like John Shire? What is the next iteration of where that program is going? You know, in Syracuse's sake, they went from playing zone to playing more man-to-man, applying pressure, playing faster, right? He's recruiting differently. So I think there are certain ways that you say, hey, I am paying respect to what was before, and we can still carry on tradition while still being in tune with, you know, what you want to do for yourself. What is your own unique style that then you can have that's additive to what was before? And I think everybody wants these programs to be successful. These are blue chip programs. Obviously, you're seeing it with Hubert Davis. You're seeing it with John Shire. You're seeing it with Syracuse. You're seeing it across the board. But making it your own is the most important thing as well.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of pressure on those coaches as they step into those new roles, especially, as you mentioned, with Syracuse, Boeheim being there for almost 50 years. All right, Jay, great seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be back.